Hi there, how are you guys doing? Good day. My name is Maya Walutuyo. And yes, let's get right into it. Let us build a classification model with Autogon AI Studio Wizard, right? Now, you already know classification models are built when you have a variable such that the outcome has a defined class, something like gender, male, female. Some data sets usually have variables where the outcomes are in zeros and ones, where across every figure in that data set, that's what you have. So that's a defined class, right? So that's some kind of variables. Once the variable of interest has a defined outcome, yes, you could, because of course the outcome is the classification of the variable. So yeah, let's get right into it. So I'm going to come to my data set and I'm just going to find these data sets about the Titanic ship. You've seen that movie where people were in the ship and all of that and all of that. So what we're going to do is the data set is about every passenger that boarded the Titanic ship. And what we're trying to do here is we're going to build a data set, a model rather, that predicts survival of a particular passenger, something like that. I'm just going to open this guy, Titanic dataset 1, that's what I called mine. And you can see passenger ID, P class, this represents sort of like the class of the ship where a passenger boarded. You can see name, you can see sex, you can see age. Now the SIBSP, patch, and ticket, all of these things represent ship classes. I would probably add the link to this data set in this video description. I did a little bit of readjustment to my data set. Reason being, I moved survival from somewhere around the third column to the extreme end. So when you're building models, your target variable should be such that it's towards the extreme right of your data set. It's just data convention. It helps your prediction to be seamless, right? So I just put it on an Excel sheet and I moved the survive column to the far right. So that's why you see that survived is somewhere around the far right of my data set, right? And if you look at the survived, if you look through it very well, you see that it has zeros and ones, zeros and ones. So there's a defined class. So zero meaning that person did not survive, one meaning the person survived, that kind of thing, right? So that's what's happening here. Now we're going to use this to build a survival model for classifying a passenger as to the person survived or the person did not survive. Now let's get right into it. Okay, I'm going to move my camera up here a bit and let's go to my project and move my camera a bit. Okay, let's call this Titanic classification model. And we could call this a model to talk about to classify passenger survival on the Titanic ship. Perfect. Exactly. Now let's create that data set. It's going to take really quick. You're going to see how seamless Autogon AI Studio Wizard allows you to do that. And I'll be using Studio Wizard, of course, to make this very seamless and easy and fast as well. So I'm going to click on Studio Wizard and I'm going to just select. So let's find that data set, Titanic. Remember, Titanic 1. Perfect. Now this is going to upload the data set for me, and you're also going to see why it's important to understand your feature type or your variable of interest before you start building. Now let's find the column of interest survived, right? You could see that it's categorical, right? So it means if it's categorical, it has a defined class of expected outcome or expected results, right? So we can work with this. Now let's click on next. You can train a lot of models with Autogon AI, but we're going to be sticking on classification today, right? Next time we'll do a lot of more and expect a lot more of this as well. Classification, what's our variable of interest? Survived, and let's call this model Titanic survival. Also, let's say survival classification model, right? Let's click on train and let's see how long this takes us. But it's going to take very little bit, and you're going to see how quick you're able to build classification models across various instances with Autogon Studio Wizard. You see that I have not written a single line of code the whole time. All I've just done is bring my data set, understand my problem, and then bring it to Autogon AI. So let's just wait and see. Voila! I just built my model in 20 seconds with an accuracy of 82.8%. This is interesting. And that's how you build a model with Autogon AI. So you go and build your classification model with Autogon and share. I want to see what you do. Bye, guys.